Okay, so I am back internet, and gosh, I guess now Cherry Tree has somehow invigorated me so much with like the first few videos that like the more of her stuff I'm reading, the more ideas I'm getting for what I can do with her. And seeing as how I probably won't be able to do the comic for like a really long time, I guess I'm kinda just, well, it's not quite animating if it's hand drawn. Well, I guess there is hand drawn animation, but like it's like an audio visual comic that I guess I'm gonna do here on YouTube. Now, it won't be like within the next few days, and I gotta keep each one short, otherwise CapCut will absolutely get glitched out. But I am going to try at least every 1 or 2 weeks to make those. And currently, I actually have a very odd little character sheet set up from like when she was in the egg to at least when she was a teenager, because I've shown you guys what she looks like as a full-blown adult. She has her stripe and everything in there. I'm going to show her again with the stripe, but essentially I have made stages of her life. How it starts out is her in the egg, and little notes that I added is that she had been mutated in the egg, but the thing is, she didn't gain her spots until after the mutation, so she would have looked like any normal soft-shell turtle, I think. And after she hatches, she doesn't immediately have her hair, but it's not like Mikey where he grows it after his teen years. For her, she has at least a little bit of fuzzy starts of hair that kind of make her look boyish at the age of 2 or 3. And at that point, she is like biting scientists because she is so done. And her eyesight is poor, so all she sees is just little scientists poking and prodding at her. And like, for her, it would hurt. And I do plan to absolutely hand draw and semi-animate, and I don't mean like, animatic. Well, it kind of will be similar to an animatic level of like animation where it's like going off of image to image. Now, how I plan for it to go is like whenever she turns 7 to maybe 9, she has at least already escaped and got her scar somehow. I'm still unsure if I want to do like the scientists somehow do it, or like as she's in the hidden city, like escaping someone who wanted to like eat her like meat sweats, that's when she could get her scar. And my plan is like she doesn't fully understand clothes, because when it comes to scientists, they don't want you hiding anything, but they didn't know that she could hide objects in her cell. And at that point, her hair is at least a bit long. So what Big Mama does is give her a headband, and they had to like compromise on the pants. And I imagine she doesn't trust Big Mama at all at the beginning. She is skeptical of kindness. She is just skeptical of anything being nice, because you gotta keep in mind, in the lab there was no kindness. When she escaped, there was no kindness. And then suddenly, like, this spider lady is just being nice to her. She would be skeptical. I would be skeptical in that situation. But then we jump to, like, her teenage years of 14 to maybe 16. And she starts learning how to use yokai magic. And the way I have her pose, she is, like, awkwardly practicing how to smile and how to, pose cutely for, like, a boy that she likes. And I'm not doing the whole, like, oh, she is in love with someone way past her age. No, I am not doing that. Instead, I'm gonna go with, like, it's like a lizard boy, but, like, it's, like, the son of one of Big Mama's clients, like, a reoccurring one. And I like that idea. Like, she has, like, a little crush for a little while, and her type is anything reptilian. But, like, it doesn't work out. Because, like, if I had to pick what, sexuality he would be, which I do plan to draw him eventually. It's just gonna take time, and I guess I'm gonna draw April and Casey if I'm really gonna go through with this. I feel like he would be trans, but also into guys. Like, I don't see him being straight at all. And the thing is, like, she starts gaining her little stripe, but it's so small. And, like, what I'm gonna go with is, like, at the age of 7 or 8 is when she gets her glasses. But she is still working on ways in her teen years to cover up the scar, and, like, when she is 7 or 8, she tries her best to completely avoid looking at her shell, and even in her teen years she does. Because she is very scared of going back. She still is, even when she's a teenager. But it isn't until after she turns, like, 17 or 18 that she finally feels a little bit more comfortable. She still covers her eye, but I like to imagine at that point, Big Mama has met the boys and got the idea to give her a bandana, or at the very least suggest it to her. And after that, she learns essentially how to tuck all the hair into the mask because it feels uncomfortable to either use the tails of it to, like, tie it back into a ponytail, or just have it lay flat on her head and go under it. She learns how to, like, essentially tuck it in like a wig cap with a lot of practice. And I imagine, like, the more magic she would learn, like, in the future, she would if she were to be in that timeline, she would eventually have, like, just the whole bottoms ends of her hair purple and still that stripe. But, like, the more magic she learns and uses, the more it, like, covers her hair. And how I like to imagine it is she doesn't turn old when she overuses magic. Instead, her hair will gain more purple, but also, the thing is, I imagine the crack on her shell would get worse. Essentially, getting a physical effect. And, like, I don't see her being, like, magic efficient like Mikey in the future. I imagine she is more combat, because that is all she ever knew. And that is what she does. She does magic fighting alongside Mikey. But her weapon of choice, I am still torn between the bow and every now and again the scythe. And I don't mean scythe like Raph does. I mean, like, scythe, like the handheld ones that you would see farmers use, or like a very long one. There's also the idea of the gun. If I had to guess what kind of nimpo she would have, actually, I feel like it would be stealth-based. Like, maybe she can, like, I don't know, like, turn invisible or go into the shadows, which I think would be pretty cool. But yeah, she probably won't ever be a part of the family in Cherry's version, but I'll probably still draw her to eventually wind up with the boys in my version. Because, how do I put this? Like, I don't know why, but it fits really well. The idea of her, like, trying to be better, but, like, still struggling to show her emotions and things. And I imagine how, like, the little long tails on the back of her mask work is, like, the reason they can show her emotions is because she partly puts her magic into it as, like, a way of showing who she is. And I love that idea. I love the idea of her just being like, I am miffed, but I can't do anything. And then, like, Big Mama sees it formed into a snake and silently hisses and just yells at her, "Don't you cuss at me in your head!" And she's like, "God damn it." Alrighty. This is Luna Hamato signing off. Yes, I will be sharing more about her, and yes, I will be doing that little hand-drawn comic animation that I promised. Alright, bye.